पद में हम ओम मानी पद में हम ओम मनी पद में हम.
This is Mel Pine with an episode of the From the Pure Land podcast. It's read by the automated voice Will from 11 Labs.
About that tree falling in the forest and the nature of the universe. Mel Pine. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? That familiar question is often quoted as a Zen koan, but its origin lies in Western philosophy. The early 18th century philosopher and Anglican bishop George Berkeley used the idea, if not the exact phrasing, in his writings. He argued that existence depends on perception, which happens to be where some quantum-based theories of reality are heading. It's also where some Buddhist philosophy lives. As an epistemological puzzle, the sentence asks us to distinguish between sound as objective vibration, air pressure waves, which physicists say occur regardless of observers, and sound as subjective experience, auditory qualia requiring a perceiver. It's a clever distinction, which resolves when using those definitions. If we regard it as a koan, though, it opens enticing channels for contemplation. Might the question be the confusion? Are the experiencer and the experience two things, or one, or none? What brought that to mind today is the problem of identifying consciousness. We've never found a satisfactory way to define or locate it. That it's so hard to pin down is one reason why some modern philosophers consider consciousness, not matter, the fundamental building block of the universe. Their view is called panpsychism and has been taken seriously by other philosophers only in this century. Philip Goff is the most visible contemporary panpsychist. His 2019 book, Galileo's Error, Foundations for a New Science of Consciousness, is an accessible and popular read, or at least as popular as a book in the humanism philosophy category can be. Giulio Tononi's integrated information theory takes a neuroscientist's route to the consciousness-first view. And philosopher David Chalmers, who formulated the hard problem of consciousness, has expressed sympathy for panpsychism as a promising path. I'm especially intrigued by the theories of Bernardo Kastrup, author of Why Materialism is Baloney. How true skeptics know there is no death and fathom answers to life, the universe, and everything. That's not just because the title is cool. While his ideas don't fit neatly into my Buddhist sense of reality, they come close. The materialism that Kastrup considers baloney dominated 20th century academic philosophy. Some materialist philosophers, Daniel Dennett, who argued that consciousness is essentially an illusion generated by information processing. Patricia and Paul Churchland, who champion eliminative materialism, the position that our ordinary concepts of mind, beliefs, desires, feelings, will eventually be replaced entirely by neuroscience. Francis Crick, of DNA fame, who spent his later career arguing that consciousness is entirely a product of neural activity. Going back further, Thomas Hobbes in the 17th century insisted that everything, including thought, is matter in motion. In Buddhism, we can reach further to the early centuries of the Common Era to find panpsychist as well as more materialistic philosophies. The most dominant and purely panpsychist one is Yogacara, which is sometimes described as mind only or consciousness only. Those phrases, as common for English descriptions of Buddhist concepts, are probably simplifications. What they point to, though, is an early form of panpsychism. You may have guessed where I'm going with this. If consciousness, not matter, comes first, then the neurons in our brains don't create consciousness. They convey it. That would mean there's no reason why consciousness can't be present in silicon neurons. I think that's what the Dalai Lama, a fan of science, had in mind when he said in interviews that he'd be willing to be reborn in a computer if the conditions were right. If he gets his wish to live another 20 or 30 years, the next generation of humans may be in for a surprise.
ओम मानी पद में हम मानि पद्मे हम। ओम मणि पद्मे हम।